Okay, hello again. This is Trace Majestus, and we just had a lot of fun playing Valheim for a couple of hours. 'Cause I really can't do a whole lot with the duck today. He's sitting in a carrier waiting to arrive back in Colonia, which should be tomorrow night. So it's time to continue getting ready to go out on a trip to deliver the mining cutter to the carrier.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. That the neutron stars count as planets almost in the way they're set up here.
Hello.
Good evening, Commander. You missed it.
What did I miss?
Yes.
Phil wasn't on 5 minutes till he blew the ship up.
Oh, jeez. What'd you do?
The whatchamacallit, I couldn't get
The
close
black
enough to
hole.
see the event horizon of the black hole. I started overheating, so I turned around, started to get away from it, and on the screen you have the escape trajectory. And all of a sudden, Elite decided to switch that off and change the target on me. And by the time I tried to find a way to fix that nonsense, it was over.
I was trying to tell him it's a black hole. It messes with your instruments and shit. You just have to fly it out manually.
Yeah, it's a pain in the behind. You can't high wake out usually. Sometimes you can, but it ain't easy. It ain't easy. Okay, I'm in the brig.
Why are you in the brig?
As the dadgum engineer.
Yeah.
Oh, that brig.
Mel Brandon, yep. I was actually just looking at the stuff he has to make sure there wasn't anything here I really needed, and there isn't.
You did get my message about Astro not being able to do the trip tonight. He'll be 3 hours delayed.
Yeah, but even if he's 3 hours delayed, that's still before the stream
Still be
tomorrow.
your time, yes.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
He's not planning to go anywhere, right?
Who?
Astro will be back in the.
To Earth astronomy.
He's delivering the carrier back to the bubble tomorrow.
Yeah,
If
I know.
you listen
Once
to
in the
me,
bubble,
Philip, I told you tonight he's in Denmark, and the electrical company notified him that he would be without electric for 3 to 4 hours. So
Yeah.
he can't do the time thing. So Dunkel, who owns this Purple Nebula, is going to take over for Astro, take us on into Colonia, whoever wants to go. You can stay on Astro's carrier. You're just going to be 3 to 4 hours later getting into the bubble.
Okay.
Which for me is a don't care.
I'm going to come on tomorrow at like 7 or 8, which we should be back by the bubble
Yeah,
by
you'll
then,
be
right?
perfect. It'll be perfect timing.
Yep.
Yeah, just double check that he's actually back in the bubble before you jump off. You may be still doing the last couple of jumps. But,
Yes, always check and look.
Yep.
And if it shows you here if you go to your galaxy map, Philip,
Yeah.
and it shows that you're still in the collection of wonders, exit out of your game and come back. Because if you happen to leave the carrier, chances are it's going to teleport your ass back to the collection of wonders.
track mining gear.
Oh wow, we're already halfway to the bubble. I thought the collection of wonders was north one.
No, it's almost directly in line. Oh, I didn't map where I'm going. Well, that's okay.
Second star to the left.
Straight on till morning.
But anyways, I came over on the Purple Nebula because I thought, well, it'll get in about 11 o'clock, and I may just go ahead and finish up Laura Jameson, her 2 little Congo juices, and be done with the engineers till Odyssey.
Which is still a ways off, it seems. At least 2 months, I'd say.
Yep. Well, I'm going to take the duck starting tomorrow night, and I'm going to go to the Sirius community goal so that I only really care that I do enough of it that I keep the Sirius permit.
Okay.
What is that, 75%? Why are they taking that away from us?
For those who didn't have it before the community goal,
Right.
you only get it for the community goal unless you do enough to keep it, which really isn't that hard.
And the duck don't have the Sirius.
The duck does not have the Sirius permit. Yep.
I understand now.
Supposedly going to have another one, though.
But it may be for a different permit.
Yep.
It's supposed to be guarding the same faction, just a different faction doing it. Like, it might be the Lions doing it this time.
Who
But
knows?
we should...
Well, if you're going to do that, I may just grab my Corvette out,
And
soup it up.
I asked on the forums, and there's supposedly going to be an in-white game to get the permit after the CGs anyway.
There is. You do.
There always has been, but this is just easier.
Yeah, definitely.
Galaxy map.
Here's the galaxy map, Commander.
This
If
is
you've
just
done
bounties,
done any of your engineers out, you know that you need the Sirius permit to get to one of your engineers.
Well, you have my Sirius permit. Check it. I have quite a good permit. Stupid star.
Engage.
Black hole in the way, and what's shining in my face is a damn neutron star.
That one of them out there almost got the better half of Trace when he was trying to probe the ring, so you may want to be careful.
It's just called Sirius?
Yep.
S-I-R.
Yeah, I know. I know how it's spelled.
You can look it up.
I'm looking at it.
Like, yeah, I have Sirius actually. S-I-R-I-U-S.
That's correct.
But the duck don't have that engineer, I don't think, yet.
Didn't have the permit. And don't forget, this liner is in the top 1% of all liners out there. Seconds spent remaining. I'm not going to get to that one. Galaxy map.
Here's the galaxy map, Commander.
And we still have our little pesky thing flying around here that likes to shoot everybody.
Zaz.
Yeah, he still has a heart on.
Engage.
Preparing for jump.
No, it wasn't the star. This, the fleet carrier It just has very bright lights. Yeah, if I recall, that series permit was a pain in the butt to unlock.
Not really.
Took me like 4 hours.
But you have to go there with a small ship.
Yep.
Well, a medium ship anyway.
Yeah. I know what you meant. Small in comparison to like
Marco Quint is the
Anaconda,
engineer.
Why not?
Marco Quint is the engineer that needs the Sirius
Oh
permit.
yeah, that's right. And you need him to get to Professor Palin.
I thought you had Marco Quint.
I do.
Not you,
Oh.
Trace.
No, I was starting to work towards it when I got distracted by other things. Squirrel.
What?
Quote from the movie Up.
I was jumped over on your stream to see the damn squirrel.
What the hell?
I thought, what the hell is he saying now? You need to growl at me. I'm not doing my duty, boss.
What you not doing, Lynn?
Just sending Cody an invite.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, he's on?
He is on.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's tempting to make a run for the border.
Well, if you got a ship that can do it, it's not a bad thing to do.
Oh no, just lazy. Nobody went halfway. Nobody halfway there. In fact, if I knew we were going to be this close already, I might have just blew the rest of the way, but nah.
Yeah, it's only 321 more jobs back to Shinrada.
It's 163 for me. Damn. Probably get there in just about as much time as the fleet carrier would.
Well, you spend any time on your game, you would.
Disengage.
Exiting hyperspace.
Oh boy! Oh, look! Proto-radiolic alloys! Woo! Woo-wee! Woohoo! The ones I actually need.
That's be good. By the time when you get back with the duck, though, you're only going to have maybe a day, maybe 2 days on that community go. But it's still top 75. Is all you got to do is kill probably 8 ships.
Yeah, it's not gonna be bad.
Yeah.
The
top 10 is only 500. Top 10 is only 582 million to 1 billion.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, that I won't look at.
No. But
That's
it was
okay.
like the other ones. Hell, I was turning in 25 million every time I went back to the station. So.
Yep. Oh, give me another high grade. Give me another high grade.
Roll that dice, baby. 7-Eleven. Mama needs some new shoes.
Well, I got 2 encoded, but no high grade. Well, I'll go to the encoded anyway. I cleaned up my encoded data last night, so I shouldn't be getting any more, oh, your encoded data's full.
I guess I should have waited because he may be in the middle of a battle.
Maybe. Well, he's doing that community goal, so he probably is in the middle of a battle.
Yeah, he's at Minot. M-I-N-O-T.
Oh, did he leave Sirius? Okay. He wasn't Sirius last night.
Oh, I thought you said something. No, I thought you said he wasn't serious last night. Not in serious.
No, he was in Sirius, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he went there to sign up for the goal and kill some pirates, so...
He's nowhere near it.
Oh, okay, well, maybe he changed his mind.
Maybe he got top 75 already.
I don't know, the way he fights, maybe. When he's not getting his behind handed to him by taking more than he can chew.
Yep.
That is a temptation. That is a very...
He was up against 3 Clippers last night. He killed one, and then another one just
ran him over.
him to death. Yeah. They're like, you killed
How
my
many
friend.
rebinds did we see him do in a matter of a few minutes?
A couple. 3, yeah.
Ouch.
Oh,
Well, he isn't a python. Once the shields go down, it's basically dead.
only if unless you've got military-grade composites on there, then you've got plenty of time.
I don't think he has upgraded hull.
Oh, I don't know. I've seen more people destroy their ships on this trip than I have in my entire year of playing Elite, so, you know.
11G planets kind of do that to you.
No, just landing on the freaking carrier, some of it. Some of it's
Really?
trying to get to the carrier.
Oh, okay.
There've been a lot of things
with
where...
all the gankers.
No, not even just
I mean, they did
people
cartwheels
screwing
across
up.
the deck.
People just doing the strangest stuff.
In my line trace, they were doing perfect cartwheels with sidewinders and the next ship up. They were doing end over end over end over end till they go.
Exiting hyperspace.
How do you even do that? If you hit the angle properly, you're going to still get pushed away from the carrier, I would think.
No.
Just because of the force you would have to hit it at to do a cartwheel.
Cody says he's having internet troubles tonight, so he's not going to even try and pick up.
Okay.
Programming input drone. Programming input drone.
Well,
Programming
can't blame them.
Oh,
Sometimes it's worth more of the hassle than it's worth. I mean, sometimes it's not worth the hassle, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
What the hell is Dunkel doing?
There needs to be observation depth in fleet carriers. Seriously. for over $5 bill. Think you have a view screen or something.
this was a pretty good encoded. All sorts of stuff.
cargo scoop retracted. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I jumped over. I seen Dunkel over there messing in the menus, and it's like, uh-oh. So I went over there and asked him if there was any change of plans. He said no, he was just showing somebody where some of the options were, and I said okay. And I went in there, and they're like, Lynn, come join us. And I said, what the hell y'all doing? He said, we're all in here trying to learn how to program our joysticks. And I said, oh, lovely, Rick. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Woohoo! This is another high grade! And it's a boom! It's a boom high grade.
It's a boom. It's
Colonia,
a kaboom, baby.
Colonia Council is in boom.
Well, after being invaded by 1,118 commanders, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's probably a wonder that none of the engineers are all in boom.
They're not?
I don't know that they have factions.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
either.
that's right. They
I just
own
saying,
their...
as many people traded in there, you'd think they'd have a boom.
Yeah, no kidding. I think if they had a faction, they all would be, but...
And I guess the ones that bought the Osium off the carrier,
Yep.
Marcia Hicks accepted it.
Oh, wow, okay.
Really? Okay.
I haven't heard nobody bitching about it, and Down to Earth Astronomy was still having people go mine it, bring it in for commanders to use.
Okay.
Guess it was working.
It must be just the CG, Elite put an end to that.
Could be.
You can store, if you own a fleet carrier, you're allowed to store the materials on there. You just can't sell it to it and then buy it off it.
Right.
So,
Disengage.
Dropping out of FTL.
took them long enough to fix that up. It's
Have to have heat radiators.
Well, there's one thing you can't put on it, and that's rare goods or, is it Thargoid shit? Is it Thargoid?
Programming limpet drone.
There's something, rare goods and something else that won't let you sell or store or whatever.
I doubt the rare goods on it. You know how broken that would be? Someone could spend a month just stocking up their fleet carrier with rare goods and then make it killing.
Well, that's what they do to
Let
protect
people
yourself
buy
in
unlimited
Colombia.
amounts of it.
That's what they did with the progenitor cells out there at Colonia. The fleet carriers are there. Astro messaged them all and said, I've got 1,118 people coming to Colonia. They're going to need progenitor cells. So
Yeah.
you want to make some money, you know, without gouging, there's your some customers. And they went to gathering because there was, 10,000 progenitor cells total in Colonia. That would only service like 180 commanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, so it was done rather well. Another high grade, woohoo!
You're
Get
cooking
in
with
luck.
Crisco.
So I had fun playing Valheim this evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you cut down a tree. I saw you drop a tree on yourself, and then I saw you build a fence.
Yeah, that was the only time I died tonight was when I dropped the tree on myself.
The only thing I got to say is I wouldn't be able to play that game whatsoever. The music about had me falling plumb asleep.
Oh, you can turn it off.
Yeah. You turn it off and put on your own music.
I don't even notice the music at all.
Well, I was sitting there watching you, and all of a sudden I went to yawning, and my eyes were drooping, and I thought, shit, hell, I'd probably end up killing myself because the game would put me to sleep.
Oh, geez. Okay, I'll turn the music off of the game the next time. I can't have that happening to my viewers.
I mean, it is. It's so relaxed and mellow. You're sitting there going...
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a relaxed, really relaxed game, you know. And it's just like, I'm just having so much fun.
I got to watch this bunch in Astro and then play some kind of a golf. It's like miniature golf on here, except it's like in wartime and it's got bombs that goes off in the middle of the little thingies and sheep that blow up and
that's cool.
rabbits that blow up and everything. And I sat there and just them, you know, watching 4 of them play it and just their commentary between the two, all of them, it was hilarious. I was dying laughing.
What's the name of that game? That sounds like fun.
I don't know what the name of it was. They tried to get me to join, and I said, no. I said, only 2 games caught my interest, Farmville 2 and Elite. I said, damn, talk about from A to Z.
Yeah.
Complete diametric opposites, yeah.
Yeah.
But I ended up buying Valheim for myself, my wife, and my daughter because you can play co-op.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Leaving hyperspace.
So on the weekend we may be doing co-op. That would be fun.
Yeah.
And the neat thing is you
I
can
gotta
pick
ask
up
you
your
a different
character.
question. What the hell were you killing out there? Was those zombies or something?
Oh, there's Urklings, which are these little goblins. A couple of different goblin creatures I was killing. I killed some boars, I killed some deer.
No, these were on 2 legs, or at least what it looked like on my screen. They were on 2 legs coming after you.
Yeah, it was probably the Urklings, one of the varieties of Urklings. They're basically little goblins.
I was like, another zombie.
No, zombie would be Draugr, and they do exist in the swamp somewhere. It's entirely out of Norse mythology. So the Urkling are technically Fae. It's dark Fae.
Oh, okay.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2.
She's out of the dark realms of fairy, hiding in the deep dark woodlands to come kill your ass. Things, okay. Well, I have an encoded to go to. Go to the encoded. These little lizard-like creatures that live in the water. So far I've run under deer, boar, Urklings, and necks. Necks. Yes, that's what the little lizards are called. Necks.
Oh, you also found a feather.
I did, and I wish I could find the rest of the bird, because they generally drop 3 feathers.
Oh, yeah?
I dropped a tree on him.
You dropped the tree on him?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I couldn't find the rest of them, and that annoyed me for a little bit, because I need those feathers. And birds are darn hard to kill.
Yes.
They're very hard to sneak up on.
Mm.
And I don't have a bow yet.
Do they have archery in that game?
Yep, I just haven't got the materials to make a bow yet.
Oh, okay.
So you're leaving what at Colonia? The courier?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's the cheapest to ship out there. And it turns out, there's no shipyard at Explorer's Anchorage, so I'm not going to throw that on the taxi. Oh, Yellow's playing Valheim.
Wait, I thought you were leaving the cutter that you were turning into a mining ship for out there.
Why would I leave the cutter partway out? It's the most expensive of the 2 ships to ship.
Well, you have multiple cutters, so
But he's not going to spend $3,454,000,000 to ship a cutter when he can fly it out there and then ship the 300 million ship out
Dropping
there.
out of FTL.
You don't realize when you're on the other side of the galaxy that even shipping a Diamondback will cost you really close to $1 billion. You could buy probably 16 Diamondbacks by the time you got back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I thought you were just going to leave the cutter out there, though, and fly back in the courier.
yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Oh, okay.
But I got to fly the cutter all the way out there. I'm not going to fly the courier out and ship the cutter.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
stupid.
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, I see what you mean.
So the whole reason I turned the courier into an exploration ship is that it's a very light, inexpensive ship, so it won't cost as much to ship it out there as a lot of other ships.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have made it. I could have made an Explorer Sidewinder and come back.
That would have took a long time to get back, though.
Yeah, longer than I wanted. So.
Yeah.
Frameshift drive
What?
charging.
Their max speed is like 28, isn't it?
You can get a 20. Yeah, I think you can get a 28 like.
Yeah.
Hell, now with that double engineered friendship drive, you can get a damn DBX up to damn near 80.
Wow.
Actually, I got this thing, my Phantom, up to 79.
Here's the galaxy map, Commander.
Over 79.
Well, we got 3 commanders that are flying DBX, and they've been keeping up, just trailing the carrier and taking pictures of it entering and leaving. And they're in Diamondbacks, and they're like 80.04, something like that.
That's bad.
And,
That's big jump range.
And I laughed my butt off. Travis, remember when we were too close to the carrier when it entered and it cartwheeled us away?
Yeah.
Frameshift drive
Preparing for jump.
They parked right in the center of where that carrier was supposed to land, and it just like swatting a fly, just sitting flying. I mean, hell, it took us 3 or 4 minutes to even figure out where the hell he was. It sent the one, I think he said 1,800 light seconds away.
Oh wow. Talk about getting punted.
And I was like, well, good thing it just throws your ass instead of blows your ass up.
Yeah.
fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Be right back, coffee. Okay, I'm back.
Get any highs in a sewer this time?
At least I'm glad I'm not the only one experiencing. Go ahead, Phil.
Huh? You're lucky you found so many high ends, that's it. Hi, Grace. Finding a bunch. That's all I wanted to say. Go on.
I was going to say, I'm just glad I wasn't the only one that had the problem of the bug on the leap where they landed on the carrier and then the carrier took off and left their asses behind.
Oh God, so many people had that happen this time.
That sucks.
They even were taking screenshots of the D2EA purple or North Star screenshots, right? And it had the timer, showing the timer. And then when the carrier got to wherever it was, then they pulled up the galaxy map and show them that the carrier had jumped and they were still there in the system.
And it happened over and over.
There.
What was funny is it happened to the same people a couple of times in a row.
Really?
Yeah, one he only had a 20, he reminded me of Jello, he only had a 22 light year jump shift.
Ouch. Maybe it's something based on someone's account.
Who knows?
Why
Something
would
going
your
on
account
with
have
their
anything
account.
to do with it?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But
Oh,
whatever.
it didn't happen to me. It didn't happen to you.
Well, it didn't happen to me because I was logged off.
Oh,
It
okay.
didn't happen to me. I was logged on, but I'm in solo. They were in open and Astro's private group
Oh,
where
okay.
it was happening to them. But Trace and I was in his private group, and it happened to me. Shook as a whistle.
Oh, yeah?
It's the reason why I don't. It's the reason why I get anxious. Really isn't the word. A little nervous when I come to jumping on carriers and going anywhere, is because hey, I've been left behind. I know what it feels like.
Disengage.
Dropping out of FTL.
But a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them would go out there and they'd see some terraformable 100 and some odd light seconds away, and instead of using their brain, jumping out to the system and jumping back in where they're closer to the carrier, they would fly out there and then try to fly back, and they didn't have enough time. I was going to tell them that, and then I thought,
They'll find out soon enough. The hard way. It's a good lesson to be learned.
and then we had the one who invariably, every time he went into the system, they go find a landable planet and go land on it. Well, it takes time to land, and it takes time to take off.
Yep.
Then they wouldn't make it back to the carrier in time.
Cargo scoop retracted. Frameshift drive charging.
And it got to where somebody says, "What? We left somebody behind," and they'd all scream his name. They already knew who it was.
It really wouldn't matter how much time you gave him to do it. He would always take too long regardless.
Yeah. I think he liked the thrill of the chase.
He's bad at time management.
Or just an idiot.
That's gonna be a problem in life.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason why I told you, if you do get off in between, remember you're on a time clock.
Yep.
And when he sets that thing, he isn't going to stop it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's starting to get tired of waiting for people taking advantage of it. He's just too nice.
See, that's what happens when you wait for people. you give the notion that people can have you keep waiting on you.
Well, no. I mean, as soon as he plotted a course, there's a little beep. Okay, well, if you're out exploring, you can't hear it. But people were posting it in Twitch on a live video. They were posting it in the local chat on Elite. They were posting 2-3 rooms of
Exiting
Discord.
hyperspace.
So if you missed the bus, it was just because you were being stupid or not paying attention. Let's put it that way. Not paying attention.
Or you know, the world rotates around you, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like that one dude who thought he was the king of the mountain. I got this and I got that and I got 300 million. I'm good. And I said, what's your combat rank? Competent. I said, okay. He said, something about, what did he say? I don't expect you to understand, little girlie.
Oh, yeah.
He actually said that?
Yeah. Anyways, I said, really, sir? And he said,
What
yeah.
did
And I
he
said,
say?
I'm sitting here. I got elite in trade. I got elite in exploring. I got dangerous in combat. And I'm sitting here looking at 6 billion credits. Now, come back at me again, little boy. And I said, not only that, I said, didn't your mommy and daddy always tell you to respect your elders? He said, oh, you're not old. I said, how old are you? He says, I'm 38. And I said, I'm 63. So sit down and shut up. You're wet behind the ears.
I love that. I happen to be on for it. I was laughing my ass off. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
And all these guys are in there like, oh, you're how old? Oh, this one guy mistaked me. He thought I meant I was born in 1963. He said, that's the same year I am. You're not that old. I said, no. I said, I was the age 63. He said, damn, you got me beat. And then all the young ones in there, the 20 and the 22s, and the, they were like, wow, that's awesome.
Uh-huh. Not the oldest person I've played with. There was one person, I forget which game it was, but she was 92 years old.
Damn.
Her daughter got her into it was an MMO, her daughter got her into it. And she got hooked on it. And so she's in there having a ball at 92 years old, playing with all of us youngsters, quote unquote, in our 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Is that the one girl that whatchamacallit, ended up on TV or whatnot? They did news stories.
I don't know. She had just had a teenage daughter and got into MMOs, and I mean, and these are like martial arts, Asian martial arts MMOs, and she's like 90 some odd years old into this thing, and it's like, holy shit! I'm used to being one of the oldest people playing. So I'm getting a kick out of playing with Lynn because I'm not used to having people older than me.
Oh, yeah.
Disengage. Disengage.
Dropping
Well,
on the
neither are
left.
these youngsters in there, but they're thinking it's pretty cool, And I said, yeah, mind your manners, lads. There's an adult in the room. But they're all the time trying to get me to play some other stupid game. It's like, no, I'm a one-game woman. I said I gave up Farmville 2 to play Elite. I said I'm not ready to give up Elite yet.
Yeah, that's a hell of a jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you made such a jump.
Well, my friend showed me how they were on Discord, and I sat there, and they brought up it where I could sit there in the cockpit. It looks like you're in the cockpit. It's kind of like watching Trace on YouTube, except it's in Discord. And sat there and rode around with him for, I don't know how many thousands of light years. That just exploring and looking and doing this and stuff. And I said, yeah, that's interesting. He said,
You have to understand, most people around your age, even looking at a regular, console controller, they're like, there's too many buttons.
yeah, but
like-
Philip,
Even
you
though it's
have
not
never
much to
in your
remember.
life met a female crane operator that used to build bridges for a living. So, come on. Levers and buttons are second nature to me.
Yeah, of course. Although Elite does take it to the next level, I got to say.
I don't know. Those,
The only difference is, you screw up an Elite, no one dies.
Well,
In real life, that is.
well, that's true, but God, I'm gonna let that one go because that one's so easy. But I'm gonna let it go. Thank your lucky stars today, Philip. I'm feeling generous.
I would hate to try and operate a crane. Those things are worse than than the cockpit of this thing. Figure it this way, Philip. On a crane, you've got not only a steering wheel, throttle, and stuff for driving the base around. You've got a whole nother set to control the cab.
You have up, down, you have the tilting function and everything else.
Actually, mine didn't have a steering wheel. Mine had, just like I got right here, a joystick and a throttle, and then I had foot pedals. Except I had 4 foot pedals, 2 throttle controls on one side, and 2 joysticks on one side, plus then another big level right here by my armrest that swung the whole cab around.
Oh,
and then I had 6 levers in front of me, each one run a line on the crane boom.
Okay.
Yeah, cranes are no joke. That's a lot to them.
Yeah. I know.
Spaceship.
You have an idea. You don't know.
I've gotten up and looked in a crane cab, and it's just like, holy shit.
Before.
Well, no, have you climbed up in a cab and sat down and said, holy shit, there's a goddamn ton of controls on this fucking thing. How do you keep it straight?
And you guys know what
what was that?
An extended cab Ford.
Trace is being interdicted.
Yeah.
Well, that's nothing new. It's in Colonia. But it's just like, if you ever seen a full-size crew cab Ford, what was it, F-250, long extended bed? My crane, because I run the cranes that's on the metal tracks.
Oh, okay.
And this ticket would sit nicely in between my 2 tracks and still have room in front of it and back of it that you could get it out of there when you wanted to.
Yeah, she didn't run these little wimpy backhoes.
No.
I know the crane she's looking
go
at.
big or go home.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to climb up. I couldn't get in the door because, there wasn't anybody there, but I got to look inside. I climbed up and looked inside. And I'm like, oh.
And then you take that and say, okay, you can run a crane. Now you load it up on a barge and you take it out there in the middle of a lake or a river and you put your spuds down to hold it in place. And now you're in a whole different realm because now you're not only having to watch what you do with the crane, but also the movement of the barge, the heaviness of what you're picking up, because if you take it over one side of it, it'll tilt your barge down. Then everything is off balance.
Yep.
But anyways, that's enough about bridge building.
I just think it's amazing that someone can keep all those levers and knobs, and dials, and joysticks, and everything else.
One thing for sure, it takes training for quite a bit. A month of training just to get things idea down pat.
I had 15 minutes to learn how to run a crane before they told me to run it.
Yes, but how long
15
did
minutes.
they have an overseer
Hit drone.
watching you?
None.
Sink or swim.
Really?
Sink or swim.
My boss said, get in there and play with that crane, and he said, learn how to operate it. And I said, okay, because we're just setting up, putting barges together and stuff. And they got the barge together, and I was up there playing around with boom it down, and he said, you got an idea what the levers do? And I said, yeah. He said, you walked it and turned it and twisted and all that stuff? Yeah. You think you can do it again? Yeah. Okay. Take her down that slope right there and load her on the barge. And it's like, what?
Sink or swim. Literally.
That's not the first thing you would want to test out your skills on.
Maybe not, but I went down a 2-to-1 slope. I had a D9 dozer hooked on the front of me and a track hoe with a bucket against the ass end of
I
it.
hope you didn't tip it over.
She had a career at it, therefore she didn't tip it over.
Cargo skip retracted. Frame
I made so much money, Philip, it wasn't even funny. That's the reason why I got to retire at the age of 48. When you make $35 an hour and you get paid overtime, and I was working 60 and 70 hours a week, if not more, for years, not months, years at a time. I had so much vacation pay that they paid me for half a year when I retired, just in vacation pay.
Nice.
Because quite frankly, not enough people have the balls and skill to run those damn things.
Yeah.
And that's not counting like when I got paid to scuba dive, to go down and hook onto the stuff that we blowed up and dropped in the water, because they had this leave no trace behind. So any big piece of concrete or whatever had to be removed. And so I had to go down there and hook the chokers of the crane onto it.
I'm surprised they were being responsible back then.
Part of the contract.
Oh, okay.
Not only that, but they sent state drivers down to make sure you did.
Oh, okay.
And then I was also sent to school and learned. Now that one took time because that was involving explosives, demolition of old bridges and stuff. And so yeah, I went to school for that, and I could blow up the footing holes that we were putting footings in for the new bridges. And then when we got done with the new bridge, then I'd go over and wire up the old bridge and drop her into the river, and then we'd go down and pick it up, put it on a barge, and haul it to the shore. I've done things that a lot of men would walk away from saying, no, 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 no. But there is one thing that I will never do. I will never parachute out of a perfectly good running, operating plane.
Now that's something I would do. Disengage.
Exiting hyperspace.
I never did see no sense in it.
cargo skip deployed.
It's like the plane's flying good, right? Right. Then why in the hell would I want to jump out of it?
Programming
I'll fly the plane while you jump out.
Yeah. If
I
I'm
w-
in a plane, it better be crashing for me to jump out of.
I am looking forward to the day where I can put away a little bit of money and go get jump certified.
You, come on, you don't want to jump.
Oh yes, I do.
Oh, that's so hard on your knees and back, though, man. If you got any trouble with your knees and back, scratch it.
I'd also like to learn to hang glide.
Oh, yeah, that's something I would love to do, too.
One of the most dangerous sports in the world.
Yep.
I think I'd rather learn how to fly a glider.
That would be fun, too.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, I flew a Cessna 152 and a 172. Those are, hell, I got my license on a 152. But gliding is you in the air. Well, I guess hang gliding the same way. You're in the air, but...
Well, the thing about the hang glider versus the regular glider is I no longer have the eyes to be certified for flight.
Oh, no?
Perception.
Yeah.
Depth perception will get you every time. It's the same way with cranes, though, too. You gotta have perception, too.
Yep.
And you gotta have a lot of feeling in your butt.
4, 3, 2, 1.
In a glider, I assume in a glider.
You got to be able to feel the air, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You have to have feeling in your hind end. You gotta feel when the air changes underneath you. And know the difference, what's happening.
Yep.
When I first started building bridges and stuff on construction work back in the 70s, late 70s, I always wondered when they said, because operating equipment has always seemed like it was going to be a fun thing. I helped my dad around the house. He had a front end loader and a road grader, and we play all the time. Or I call it play. He called it work. I always heard these operators, if your ass is dead, forget it. And it's like, what? And he said, if you don't have no feeling in your butt, you will never make a good operator. You've got to feel it in order to know if you're doing it right or wrong.
Same thing with a race car.
Yeah,
Or street
You gotta
racing.
feel that drift.
You got to feel the road.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta feel it when you start drifting. Or like when you get behind somebody and you catch their, what do they call that? Draft? No.
Draft.
Is it draft?
Yep.
You can feel
Yeah.
it. You can feel it just as soon as your car gets that draft. You can feel it. Kind of.
And you got to
Kinda like it goes in
ease
neutral.
ever so slightly off to make sure you don't tip tail end up.
Yeah.
One of the many things my dad taught me how to do was draft.
Oh, you had a cool dad.
My dad raced 911s on street racing when he was growing
Oh,
up.
nice.
And he taught me everything he knew. So I can drift a car, I can power slide around turns, I can do all sorts of neat shit. Or at least I could when I was younger. I don't have the reflexes for it anymore.
I did this little boy when I was younger, probably 18 years old. He had a 1950. Don't ask me what all was in this car, because I couldn't tell you now. But it was a 1957 Chevy, and he had it. The engine was just, oh my god! And it was a 3-speed? It was either a 3-speed or a 4-speed on the floor.
4 on the floor, 357. Or sorry, 457. Probably supercharged.
Probably, but anyways, he put a $100 bill on the dash, and he had just a little bit of, like a little piece of tape he'd roll around there, so it was easy to grab hold of. It just wouldn't blow off during the wind or whatever. He put a $100 bill on the dash, and he said, if you can grab that $100 bill before I hit 4th gear, you can have it. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He'd have you throw it against that seat so hard that you couldn't reach up there to get it.
Yep.
And just about the time where it started to reach momentum where you could reach up there, he'd grab another gear.
Yep.
Throw your butt right back in the seat.
Yep. I had a Ford Probe that would hit you in the back 3 times every time it went into gear. It had dual turbos.
Nice.
So the main, you'd get into a gear, you'd stomp down first, and it would throw you back into your seat. The first turbo would hit, and it'd throw you back in your seat. The second turbo would hit, and it would throw you back in your seat. Change gears. Repeat.
You ever see one of those long dragsters? What is it, the long johns?
Yeah, the drag racers, yeah.
Yeah. A friend of mine that I knew well here, he had one, and I went to up here at Spokane to the drag racing with him and was watching it. And well, he was doing some work on it, and he said, "Hey, you want to go up there at the track with me? There ain't gonna be nobody there, but I need to test this out." And I said, "Sure." So I helped him load it on the trailer, and we got up there and unloaded it. He got it started, backed it off the trailer, and pulled it up there, and he said, have you ever drove anything like this? And I said, no, I drove a dirt track racer one time. It was a 1970 Super Sport. And he said, you want to take it for a spin? And I said, no. I said, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I mean, god dang. He said, you operate a crane and you can't drive this. And I said, no, I said, I don't know. I said, at least my crane ain't going to crash if I happen to steer it wrong.
Well, the stick or whatever, it's not really a steering wheel. It's almost fixed. It's not like a real steering wheel.
This one had a steering wheel and it had a big shifter on it.
Oh, really?
It had forward, reverse, and then the other shifter over there was your gears. I think you only swap gears like 3 times. But you're talking, that's expensive money right there.
Oh,
yeah, and
you
it's...
don't even know the beginning of it.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
Certified, it's a nightmare.
I would not want to try and...
With all the new rules they come up with every, 2 years.
I'm talking about when they used to do this for the fun, not for the professionalism of it.
Oh, okay.
But I just, he showed me how to do it, and I said, okay, but I'm not going to go out there going balls to the wall like you do. He said, that's fine. Just drive it to the end, turn it around down there in that great big giant circle, because he said it's going to take all of it for you to get this thing turned around. And he said, bring it back. And I said, okay. So I took off, went down there. I think I got it in second gear, but I wasn't romping on it. I got down there and no power steering, man. You had to crank that steering thing. Oh, shit. And turn around and come back. And I said, the first thing I do is put power steering on it. He said, no, it won't work.
No, you'll wreck it,
Yeah.
But yeah, he'd go down through there running way over 100 some odd mile an hour, whatever it was. I went down there probably 75. It's like, yeah, okay, this is fast enough.
Yep.
I think you had probably 100,000 in it. Frame, engine, transmission, tires.
Landing gear deployed.
Yep.
It was fun. I could say, yeah, I drove one.
And mind
Did I
you,
wreck
at
it?
any time, the engine could just blow up in your face or in your crotch, as it were.
Well, they got so many layers of fire things between it. Yeah, it just protect you a little bit.
The only thing along the lines I did like that is one of the companies I worked for had blew all of their team working budget on one thing right at the end of the year because they never had it. Their schedule was such they never had time to do the team building. So we went to F1 Boston, which is quarter scale F1 racing.
Yeah.
I had so much fun at that.
company that I built bridges for, they were kind of like that. I think it was more of a morale thing than it could have been a team building thing, but most of the people that was building bridges didn't have time to participate, and we were all scattered across the United States. So keeping the team, keeping a team together was impossible. So it was just a corporate owner, office workers, because they never moved.
Right.
Okay, so they just had a bunch of different offices, minor offices in different states?
No, they had the central office and then the on-site office on whatever the hell they were working.
A travel trailer parked out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, they had a race car, and they had one of them Long John race cars, and then they had one of them speedboats, one of them, what do they call them?
Oh, God. Yeah.
The cigarette races, is that what they call them?
Mm-hmm. Cigarette boats.
They had one of them boats.
Boat racing is just a death trap ready to happen. Waiting to happen. I mean...
Well, we happened to luck out on one of our job sites down at... around Hot Springs, Arkansas, because one of the races that the company was going to participate in was down there that weekend. And we all got to take the day off and go down there and watch the race. And the mechanic that worked on the boat, I knew him personally because he'd worked on my crane many times. Changing out this and changing out that. Anyways, got to talking to him, and he raised the back cover up, and I'm looking at him, and I was like, Jesus Christ, talk about some power. And he closed the rear cover down. And he said, as soon as I get done with it, when we get done with this race, he said, meet me back here. And I said, okay. So they went and done their races and everything, and he come back out there, and I went down there, and I met him, me and the superintendent and the foreman, and it was a double. He raced. You had the driver, and then you had somebody else in the cockpit. I don't know, maybe monitoring some gauges. I don't know what they do. And anyways, it only had 2 seats in the thing. And he says, hop in. And I said, what are you talking about? Hop in, I'll take your spin. And I said, you're kidding, right? And he said, no. So I got in there, you had to put this freaking crash helmet on. You got to rig up the damn seat belts that goes across your shoulders, around your legs, buckler in the center.
5-point harness, yep.
Yeah. I'm like, this should tell me right here I don't need to be in this son of a bitch,
You couldn't pay me to get into a racing boat.
Well, we went out there on the lake, and just a half a mile up the lake was where our job site was, and I had my crane out there on the barge, and he takes off, and we're just nicely, tooling around, like, oh, this was cool, yeah. This was good.
Tooling around at 80 knots, yeah.
Well, no, he wasn't even going, he was probably going 50. He was just taking it real nice and easy until he got me way away from the dock. And he said, and they had where you could talk in there, and I thought, you wouldn't be able to hear anybody for all the wind noise and stuff, but their helmet comes down and it has like, what is it called, a sleeve or something? And it pulls down and it has a mic right there in front of your face, and you don't hear no wind noise. All you hear is his voice and your voice. You may hear a ba-boom, a ba-boom, a ba-boom of the hull, but that's it. And he says, which direction is your guys' job site? And I said, it's up that river right up there about a mile and a half, something like that. He says, let's see how fast it takes us to get there. And I said, what? And about that time, he goes, wah! That boat came up out of the water and went sideways. And I said, holy shit. And I was looking for something to grab a hold of.
Oh, yeah.
It took us no time to get up there. And then he slides around the barge. He does a turn, slides around the barge with my crane on it, and comes back down there. When he gets me back to the dock, I said, never, ever again am I getting in a fucking boat with you.
And he turned on it, yikes. See, those boats will do just fine going straight, but all the problems start happening when you need to turn.
No, if you know how to turn, you slide into your turn and then slide out of it. It's like driving a race car. You go into the turn, and as soon as you get in that turn, then you go down to the bottom of the
Yeah,
track.
there's a big difference with the race car, though. A race car doesn't leave the ground.
You want to bet?
Oh, yeah, they do.
They'll
Oh,
leave the
yeah,
ground and
they
go over the
do.
frickin' retailing wall and cartwheel you out into the frickin' pasture.
Well, yeah, if you hit something, you're going to leave the
No.
ground.
No.
But
If you just
you're
screw up.
Lowering it straight away, you're not going to leave the ground. Like the boat leaves the water. Boat
Okay.
gets airborne.
Whatever you say there, Sherlock.
You've never seen the videos of one of them that just caught a little air?
Yes.
And it just
We're
goes...
not talking boats, we're talking cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Yes, I've seen that where the aluminum big shell they have over it, the back of it's like a crunched up and stuff. Because
No,
they
this is
were-
one where it goes vertical.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay. They leave the ground, and man, if they go at just the right speed, they're going to keep going a while. If they get the wrong speed, they're going to go right back over the top.
It's like when they get out there and they go running, they come out of a curve and they start grabbing gears. They get up there and that wind catches them just right. They go squirrely.
When you're only 3 inches off the wall.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of those boats, speedboats. They'll get to hitting the waves, and all of a sudden that nose comes way up there in the air, and the wind catches it, and that's all it takes, and over on its top it goes. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yep.
But I will say, riding in the boat is hard on your back and your hip joints. That
Yeah.
banging into that water. I don't know how they're
From.
hanging on to it.
Yeah.
The same way with an amphibious plane. Have you ever rode one of them?
Yes, I have.
I rode one time with a state inspector. They came by our job site every so often, and the boss always wanted somebody of the crew to go with them, just to make sure that they're in the right area taking the water samples and not taking a sample someplace else. And we'd end up having to go ride with them, and you know, sometimes our landing was hard. Oh my God! And you'd hit, if it was rough waters, you sit there and you go ba-boom.
Boom, 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 yeah.
Oh, what, the seaplane?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. No, it was some kayaking trips we went on where they would a seaplane would ferry us.
Yes.
Ferry us up the river. And so we'd strap our boats to the pontoons, and then he'd go and take off. My dad asked him a question. He's like, "How do you know when you've got too much weight on the pontoons?" And the pilot said, "Plane sinks." My dad was not too fond of that guy. So part way up the river, the pilot notices me looking at the river. He said, "Oh, you want to scout the river?" And he stands it on its side.
Oh, yikes. That must have freaked him out.
Freaked my dad out. Yep. Yep. Pilot was definitely a wise ass, and he noticed my dad was not very happy, and I was actually very comfortable in the air. So, you know, it's like it stood it on its side, and I'm sitting there just watching the water. My dad's in the back, absolutely terrified because, I mean, he doesn't like flying to begin with.
At 22 years old, I had a friend of mine named Blake. He was a crop duster. He flew an ag cat.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, they're
he'd come
always,
up. He'd come
A
up here.
daredevil.
He'd come up here and he'd be spraying crops and stuff, and he'd call me and say, "You want to go for a ride?" And sure. I'd meet him at the airport. Only problem is when you rode in a crop duster plane, you had to sit on the pilot's lap because there was only one seat. And yeah, it was a violation of FAA rules, but it was his plane, so what the hell. Anyways, he'd take me up and we'd fly, and he'd spray these fields, and it was really weird. He'd get down there and you could just watch the wheels of the plane because they were kind of set off to the side we could see. And he'd go in and spray the wheat, and he'd be hitting the wheat so hard it would spin the wheels. It was like, wow, this is too low. Full speed as fast as that plane would go, and you're down there. Oh yes.
Down on the deck, yeah.
Yep.
Down on the deck, eating chaff.
Yep.
Well, it's wheat
last time I
chaff,
went with
not
him-
anti-aircraft chaff.
Yeah.
Right. Last time I went with him, he seen a bridge, and he flew up one side of that bridge and looked, and he flew down the other side of that bridge and looked, and then he kind of flew at the bridge and looked, tilting his wings one way, and he tilted his wings the other way. And I said, "What the hell are you doing?" He said, "Oh, I'm just looking at this bridge." And I said, "Oh, okay."
Then he went
And
under
he
it.
goes up over he goes up and over it, and goes down because it's right on the river, on the lake. Goes up and over it, comes back around, and he's looking at it. And he's doing the same thing, tilting the wing this way, tilting the wing that way, and looking. And I said, "What the hell are you doing?" He said, "Oh, nothing, just hang on." And pretty soon, all of a sudden, I heard him. He was throttling this cat up, and I thought, "You don't throttle it up unless you're getting ready to go down on the deck. What the hell is he doing?"
Looping it?
No, he went
got
under the
down
bridge.
He got down there where the wheels were, I don't know, looked like 6-8 inches off the water. Could have been a little further. And he went underneath that freaking bridge. You talking about squall. From one side of that bridge to the other side of that bridge, I was squalling at him. God damn! Stomping on the floor trying to find the freaking brake. He come up on the other side. And he was laughing his ass off, and I said, "Take me back to the freaking airport." So he took me back to the airport, and I never rode in a crop dusting plane with him again. I was like, "You're going to kill me, or yourself, or
Here's the Galaxy Map,
something.
Commander.
And if you kill yourself, that's fine. It's just you."
Yeah. Well, not for
He
real.
did.
Most
He did.
crop
About 7.
dusters are like army vets and stuff, and they're all daredevils.
Well, he killed himself. 7 years later, he came up out of a field, and there was a guy line wire on an electric pole that wasn't marked with one of them big orange balls, and he caught it with a wing, slammed his ass into an oak tree.
Oh, shit.
Yep. Well, I've never actually. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've flown a plane for real once. But I was, using a simulator, an X-plane. I think it was 10. And I took a Bel Air underneath the Zacom in Boston. Now, the Zacom does not have enough room underneath it for the Bel Air to actually fit. So the only way to get the Bel Air under it is you have to come in at about a 35 to 40 degree angle.
And fly it sideways through there.
No, because the tail will catch.
No, I meant fly it at that angle through it.
Nope. You have to actually coming down at 35 degrees, and about 10 feet off the ground, you got to tilt it 35 degrees the other way.
Yeah.
And fly it up so that you can slide the tail underneath without it hitting the bridge.
Yeah. I see what you're saying now.
Engage.
Well, that's what he was doing. He was tilting his wings one way and then tilting his wings the other way to make sure that he had enough room clearance on the wings. And then he went to the other side to see if there was any obstruction, like something a brace, cross brace or something hanging down.
Yep.
He'd raise his nose up and then raise it and, lower it down to see if he had enough height between the water and the bridge. And I was like, you're just freaking crazy.
Yep.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Funny thing, at the place I was at, they did that on a family day. And I was one of the few adults able to pull it off. A bunch of the kids were able to pull it off, but not many adults.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's hand-eye coordination.
Somebody wants to know, is it normal that the carriers are all right in the inside of the black hole? Just jumped back to the system and was wondering how the hell to dock. Every time I go towards it, the black hole pushes me away.
I had absolutely no problem docking.
You were on this side of it too. He's on the other side of it.
It's like go around the black hole.
Oh, okay.
You think that would be just common sense?
Yeah.
And the only person that came back says, yeah, you'll be fine. Oh my God. And he goes, okay.
System scan complete.
Then he flies into the black hole and gets blown up.
Yeah. Like Phil did. Yep.
No, I purposely went there to look at it.
You missed that whole conversation, buddy. You said blow up, and I said, yeah, like Phil did.
Yeah, but the circumstances were different.
Yeah, I should take Darkwing out, dive him into the black hole, turn around and come out just to show it can be done.
It's on video, I believe you have it. Well, no, you eased into it and then eased out.
Well, that was the neutron star, not the black hole. I want to do it on the black hole, too.
Oh, okay. Well, I know you eased into one of them, then you eased out of it. You got a little heat.
Fuel scoop.
Yeah, little heat, but not bad. Yeah.
And your instruments were going kind of wacko on you, but other than that,
Yeah. I mean, the key is don't panic.
yeah. But the problem is when you enter into this system, if you jump to another system and you come back in, Philip,
Yeah.
all you see is the carriers, but the problem is there's a black hole between you and the carriers.
Okay. You should be able to see where the black hole would be, though,
Not
because
unless you're
the
really close to
distortion.
it. You don't notice the distortion until you're right on top of it.
Oh, okay.
And so if you make a mistake and you fly right at it and you're going too fast, you're going right in it before you even know what the hell happens.
This is a pretty small black hole, too.
They're all points.
Only 31 times the size of our star.
Yep.
And another thing, our captain of the helm of this new ship. Just a warning. He does get extremely intoxicated, so there's no telling where we'll actually end up.
Oh, God.
He's got a preset jump all the way back, but if he sees something interesting 300 light years, he may jump.
Oh, okay.
But he'll warn you.
Yeah, except I'll probably be asleep. Nah, I'm going to stay on down to Earth's carrier. I know where it's going. It'll be there eventually.
Oh, he'll be there before,
Before
Astro
this.
gets
Down
there.
here, it's strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll be there before Astro gets there, but he's kind of like you and Nebula. Remember on the way back, you looked over and you seen that Nebula? Oh, yeah, well, you can't go there.
3 nebulas later, it's like, oh, God.
Yep.
There's just too many of them out there. It's just like, squirrel!
He said, yeah, I got about 6 hours sleep. I should be all right. May take a nap later on, though. Okay.
Yeah, so have a nice day. See you in hell. Disengage.
We all wake up the next morning and we're in Sagittarius, eh?
No kidding.
No, he promised faithfully he'd take me back to the bubble, so I'm going to put my faith in him.
So
Not
I
only
guess
that,
I
Astro would chew his butt out.
shouldn't tell him all the interesting stuff I found behind the galactic center then.
If he deer tears too much, Astro would be after him. I think he's kind of Astro's assistant.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I believe he's the guy that does the video editing and stuff for.
Yeah, but he's
Okay.
always posting links to this, links to that, links to this, and on Hello Dave and Astro's channel, Elite Dangerous, and in here he has comms going, talking. He's like talking on 5 different platforms while we're jumping to make sure everybody's notified for getting ready to jump. You got 5 minutes to lockdown. You know, he's pretty good. But he's also an ornery little cuss, too.
Hopefully he's got a thicker skin than Zaz.
Oh, he was telling, yeah, he does, because he was telling Zaz, he's, oh, come on, little girlie, put your big girl panties on.
isn't that the one who's that insane pirate that was killing gangers with an axe?
Yes.
But he got his little feelings but hurt, and he turned against anybody who's on Astro's carriers.
Oh,
He's made it a vengeful thing that he's going to kill every one of us as many times as he can.
just anyone undiscriminated?
Yep.
Damn. Shit.
He waits
Don't
for
know
us.
why.
He waits for us to come off the carrier and then blows us up.
I
He
thought
hasn't
he was
me
just
yet.
going after gangsters.
Well, he was, but he got his, like I said, he got his little feelings hurt. I popped out 4 times and opened and said, here I am, I'm riding on Astro's carrier. Well, you never did nothing wrong to me. And I said, well, I can if you want me to. But I said, if you're going to label us all, you know, whatever, I'm on his carrier. He said, I have no problem with you. And I said, I didn't think you did.
You're in the cutter with 8A shields, too.
No
Even
weapons,
though you
but
don't
2
have
beam
your
lasers.
weapons, he doesn't know that.
Yeah, he does. All he's got to do is look at your... All he has to do is target me where it comes up on his thing, and then go into what is it,
Targets.
contacts, and
Yeah.
then targets, and he can see what I've got on my cutter. How in the hell do you think me and Trace target the power plants all the
Yeah.
time? And it's like I told him, I said, I got 5 mining lances. Whether they'll do any damage to your ship or not, I have no clue. But if you shoot at me first, I said, I'm going to do my best to take you out, whether that's shooting at you or ramming the living shit out of you.
That would be an interesting fight, though. Because no matter how good a pilot he would still take at least 30 minutes to take down your shields in an asp. Take a long time.
I don't know. He may have pack counts for all I know.
Pack-hounds don't do shit against shields.
Well,
For
no,
shields, he may be using
I mean,
frag
after you get your
cannons.
shield down.
Frag cannons are nasty against shields.
I don't know what he's got, but you know, it's like I said, I'm here. You know, and he's like, well, you didn't do nothing to me, and I said, neither does anybody else.
Yeah, he just wants to be a butthurt nanny.
And he said, well, I did a lot. I said, yeah, and I cheered you on, and I said, you did more than one. I sat there and cheered you on, and yay. You know, thanks, Commander, blah, 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 blah. And I said, then you turn around and do this shit? I said, that wipes away all your little brownie points as far as I'm concerned. And then he says, well, don't cry about it. And I said, I'm not. I'm not the drama queen. You are. But he's been, I think since we've been back here in this one here, what is it, the Collection of Wonders?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody said that he's attacked him, so maybe he's gone away. Maybe he got bored. Or maybe Elite banned his ass. I don't know.
Or maybe he picked up notoriety in Colonia and couldn't get onto Down to Earth's carrier.
Well, he's jumped. I mean, he was with us the last jump, so he got out of Colonia. But
Yep, but if he gets notoriety, he's not going anywhere.
But anyways, it just, you know, I haven't heard anybody grabbing about him today, so maybe he just got bored. Or maybe whatever think he belongs to a group. I'm not sure. Maybe they got a hold of him and told him to stop his shit.
Damn. Either that or, you know, one of the people that butthurt him decided to apologize, but...
Or he just didn't log on at all.
Well, it could be too. He could be working or something. But, you know, I thought, well, that's just downright bullying, you know.
Yeah.
Unsuspected people coming off the carrier and then you blow them up. And I thought, I bet at least got some rules about targeting harassment.
Yep.
Then I thought, isn't there a way that you could look at him and target him and then block him and then he couldn't bother you anymore?
There
I
should
wish.
be.
I thought
There
they said you
isn't?
could.
Not that I know of.
Huh.
Because you got where you can block them.
You can mute him in chat, but, you know, if he decides to yank you out of Super Cruise, he can do that.
Cargo scoop deployed. Programming in Pedro. Programming in Pedro. Programming in Pedro.
I don't know. Maybe something to try out one day.
And I know you can mute people in chat so you don't, can't hear them, can't see them if they're being obnoxious. But as far as I know, that if you're in open and they're in open, there's no way to prevent them from interdicting you.
Probably so. It was too easy.
Yeah. Come to think of it, there probably isn't a way because I'm sure Elite, the upstuff, see it in two ways. If it's really that bad, one, you would report them to the upstuff, but alternatively, you would just go into solo, move to wherever, and then go back into open when you're far away.
Yeah, but I think you got 1,000 players out here. If every one of them wrote a complaint about him, I'm sure that he would probably get banned or suspended or put in solo.
Yep.
And that may have been what happened.
Could be.
Because remember that what he said yesterday. If you were here, it didn't matter. You were dead.
Yeah.
That was a direct threat. So they may have screenshotted that and turned it into Elite.
A couple people said they did.
So that may be the reason why we're not seeing it. But anyway. I just told him, I said, just remember, I said, if you do shoot me, sooner or later I'll make it back to the bubbles where all my weapons are at and my Corvette. And, yeah. Revenge is a dish that's better served cold.
And there's nothing cold in the dark of space.
But he never bothered me. He just yacked my ear off, It's like, grow up.
Sticks and stones, baby. Sticks and stones.
Yeah. I love it when they come back and they say, oh, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings or made you cry or whatever, and it's like, no.
You could make me
Make
cry if you tried.
Yeah, it's like, you don't have the power to do that. I said, I would have to allow you to hurt my feelings and make me cry, and you're not worth my time.
Let's be fair. Maybe you were crying, but crying out of pure laughter.
No, it wasn't.
It is, see.
I thought he was a little baby. It's, it's kind of like, grow up.
Ooh, it's 10.
I'm pulling into a terminal now. I got a couple things to do here, and then I'll call it a night.
Yeah. I love it. One guy says, you should hit the ring with your surface scanner for a nice surprise. He said, I don't have a scanner. Please tell me what there was. The guy says, no, that takes all the fun out of the game.
Disengage.
Dropping out of FDR.
Wait, someone flew all the way out here without the surface scanner. Why?
Because they came out for the engineers.
Why do people fly long distances without an automatic field maintenance unit?
They're not needed.
Requesting docking
You
permission.
used a carrier.
Let's be fair. I could have probably made the 9,000 light years remainder to Colonia before my upper-steam would have been completely dead.
Let's be fair. You made it off of one carrier, didn't even fly 128 light seconds to another carrier, and blowed your ship up.
Well, I wasn't going to the other carrier
Completely.
at that time. I was purposely flying to the black hole.
Was you purposely trying to blow your ship up?
Landing gear.
No. And if a lead didn't decide to target the black hole when I'm on an escape trajectory,
What it's saying is you could have done the same thing 9,000 light years away.
huh?
The landing gear is already deployed. Would you like me to retract?
No, the thing that happened
Understood.
back it was actually further. That was behind Galactic Center. I found this neutron star that the cones did not reach outside of the exclusion zone. And you know how those stars is? Half the time the exclusion zones don't even pop up until it's too late.
Where you at? I see foster carriers, but what system?
I believe it's COES.
Okay, yeah, okay. Oh, you're kidding. You have got to be kidding me.
What's up?
Just looking at you, watching you roll, 2 didn't get you hardly anywhere.
And the next 2 got me even less. I think 2 more should do it. If I have enough for 2 more.
Oh, what, you're rolling the engineer?
Yeah.
Try.
I see. Okay. Oops.
Any luck?
I don't have enough, finish that off this time around. Okay. Alright, check the shields again. Make sure I didn't cut anything off that I need. 10 and untypical shield scans. Okay, so I need one or two more military grade alloys. Should get me over the top for that one. And then I have sensors and 2-point defense, and then a few other things. I may be able to complete sensors.
Yeah, I wish they'd have done our point defenses like they did the FSD scanner and our FSD booster. Allowed you just to use the materials and buy extra ones.
Yep. Okay, sensors are done. So now I got 2-point defense and shields on this ship. I've got life support on the other ship. And then I gotta gather enough of the materials that if to make sure that all the ones that are out there are fully upgraded.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's what I've got for tonight. It is my bedtime. So I'm going to be shutting things down here. Hopefully tomorrow night I will at least spend a little bit of time with Darkwing to get him off of Down to Earth's carrier. I'm not sure how often I'm going to be playing the Valheim stream, even though I'm really enjoying that. We shall see. But the ships are a good deal closer, ready to go. I've got like four more things ready, plus stocking up for the 2 things I need to make sure are upgraded out there. So we'll see. Might take me a couple more days to get everything set up. But that's all I have time for tonight. I'd like to thank everyone who came along in both this stream and the Valheim stream earlier. Thank you very much for those who joined me in chat in the other stream as well. And Lynn and Philip, thank you for joining me in the wing. That's all I have time for now. This is Trice Majestus signing out.